But Charlie, you were brought to Newbridge as a prisoner originally. Where were you captured? At Castleshane?
At Castleshane. We were brought
And
to Dundalk.
Dundalk, I remember that. That's where I was quizzing you.
A couple of, we were there most of a couple of weeks in very bad condition. And then we're transferred then to Newbridge. And there was a good few from Tyrone was there, prisoners in the next block to us.
Well, now before you go from that a moment, was did you ever meet Geoffrey Coulter? He was a Protestant.
No, never met.
But there were several Protestants in Newbridge.
Yes,
prisoners.
There was.
He was a prisoner too. He's the name of Coulter. And he was originally from 5 Mile Town. And he's still alive, and he was giving a lecture against the Expo 71 in Belfast last week and in Armagh last Thursday.
Oh, no.
And he was a prisoner in Newbridge. And yes. Oh, very much so. He was on the Army Council of the IRA in his time, and was a great friend of Pa Donald's. But I thought that he said there was about 40 Protestants that were IRA at Newbridge camp.
Yes. Well, we weren't too long in it to escape out of it.
Now tell me about your escape.
Well, there were a few more of the same section that we are in was to go, and whatever happened on the failed to go. We're taking the engineer in particular.
Yeah.
Thinking of them. And Frank and I and Eugene Laughlin, we got out, and we had to go past Centre, and we're halted. And I knew there wasn't any fire, and says I to him, as soon as he says halt the third time, run for it.
Yes.
So we walked down at our ears to the third halt, and we run, and the bullets was behind us. But we got over a bridge to the right, and then we're on the cover, and the bridge was a bit of a humpback. We got over it, and there was a hole in the hedge just immediately on the other side, and we got into a field, dropped down into a field, and then we're safe, for the road was higher along the road. So we went a certain distance along the fields, and we crossed the road then to the other side. And Frank Hanna was saying, we'll keep to the road, and I said, I will not, for these boys will come too quick on us.
Yeah.
So we hadn't went the distance of a field to the tenders come along. And they were shooting in all directions. So we got on through the fields, and were heading what we thought was our direction north, and we landed beside Naas when it was about breaking daylight. And there was hay in this field, and we got a couple of armfuls of it, and we got it into a shot, and we lay down.
Let me interject here. What month was it? Was it in the spring of 23, or was it in the autumn of 22?
It was in the autumn of 22.
22. What month? You can't remember.
As far as I can mind, October.
Well, then that was good for hay in the fields.
Very nice weather.
Right, that's true. You can get nice weather in October.
So we lay there all day, and the Free Staters were about along the roads, and I must have plenty of ammunition for shooting
all over the place.
So I still had a £10 note.
Yes.
It had stitched in the shoulder and was short inside.
Very good.
And we had got nothing to eat all day.
And what time did you escape from the camp?
We escaped about 1 o'clock at night.
I see. Simply walked past the guard.
Oh no, we got out through a tunnel.
Oh, you were on the tunnel too.
You know, so
See.
I proposed to go into the town and get something to eat.
But now that's a little bit, before we go to get you, I've heard nothing about the tunnel at all, you see.
Well,
Tell me about the making of the tunnel.
well, it wasn't making of a tunnel at all. Unfortunately, it was a sewage that we escaped through.
Is that right?
Yes.
You needed the engineer, all right? You said something there about the engineer. Tell me that now.
Had got contact outside
Yes.
and they had washed it out for us.
Is that good?
Yes, washed it out well, and it opened into the levee.
And it was a main sewer, like?
Yes, a main one for.
Well, were you not afraid of it being used during the time of your escape?
Well, apparently that was
Attended to?
intended to, too.
Uh-huh. By the outside help?
Yes. So
Very convenient.
I went in to this Intonays, and I had to go a long road through the town. Apparently it was a working class district, and I went on ahead till I come to this shop,
Uh-huh.
and it was a square shop with the office on the left as you went through the door, and a counter 4 corners round it.
Yes.
And there was like these 2 brothers, it resembled 2 brothers from Armagh that I could have swore
That you dealt in one thing.
they were the same, 2 brothers, the name of McAnally.
Yes.
And I asked for butter, bread and sugar,
Yes. Aye.
and got my 2 loaves and a pound of butter, and got it out and got away back.
Got
my
your change too.
And while I was there, there come in a Free State soldier,
Mhm.
got cigarettes.
Yes.
But I had a good arse stick
Yes.
that would have stood a bit of thumping that
Yeah.
he used had I done it. So got out and got back, and they thought I never was going to come back. They'd give up hope. I was
Yeah.
that long.
Uh-huh.
So we were ready for the feed, and we buttered the bread whatever way we could, and we had very much stick.
And you had the sugar, but you had no tea.
We had no tea, no anything.
But
yet.
sugar was a good thing to get for us sustains your energy.
Yes.
Very good,
So-
sir.
We ate all we could eat anyway, and then we headed up the railway line
Mhm.
from Naas, where actually they were waiting on the railway line. And
You mean the soldiers were waiting on them?
no,
Oh, aye, the man, aye,
Man.
others.
well then there was, apparently that evening or that day, a railway strike had come on,
Yes,
and there was trains sitting on the line.
yes,
And we come to this station, Salons,
yes.
and the cabin man was still there in his cabin,
Uh-huh.
and he shouts, "Who goes there?"
Uh-huh.
I says, "Me."
Yes. Very good. You were non-committal anyway. Well,
"Where are you going?" So I'm going home. So you have a good bit to go.
you knew by your accent.
He knew right away.
Yes, well,
So we went on ahead, and we come to this place, and there was a small house and a small havel of hay.
mhm.
And we were remarked going along the railway line that there was waves of hate come.
Yes.
Real hate.
Mhm.
And we lay down at the hay, pulled out a lap and lay down on it, and had a good sound sleep for it, slept no the night
No,
before
not
at all.
till you're on the go.
And I wakened first, and not as Frank Hanaway wasn't fit to get up.
Mhm.
The weather had changed as cold as you like,
Dear,
and he was that stiff,
Mhm.
he had to be helped up.
dear.
Yes.
I wonder
So
what the
we
heat.
managed on then
uh,
till we got up to Dublin from
Yes.
there.
And then you were captured again.
Then we're captured again. When
How were you captured, Daddy? Or Charlie, I wonder.
well, we,
Like in the sense that Dublin's a big city.
the when we're
Yeah. I know that place.